So we've got some pictures here I'm going to hold up. We'll do the picture association here. And you just kind of walk us through your life, and you talk as long as you want about each one.
Okay.
Now, these pictures were provided by you. This is you in your early days. You were basically a baby, I think, on this.
I basically was.
On this gentleman's
Very much.
chest here. So tell the story about this picture.
That was my adopted family.
Okay.
Let's see, I believe I was like 6 weeks old when they picked me up at the agency. I love the picture just because it shows a promise, right?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's a beautiful reflection.
It is.
It didn't turn out that way.
Mm-hmm.
But
how long were you with that family?
still, I mean, that was, you know, that's my family.
I see. I understand. Now I understand fully what you mean by that comment.
Just didn't turn out how it was supposed to.
I understand. And this is you at age 7, is that right?
Yeah, somewhere around there. It's hard to tell exactly, but that's a picture I use a lot when I do presentations because it sort of gives people an idea. You know, when I tell them what happened to me the first time when I was attacked, you know, it had already happened by the time I was that age. You know, and I just think people need to know the effects of these kind of things, and that's part of what I teach on is the effects.
I got you.
So it's just a mental picture.
And this is a picture of?
That's a picture of, I don't know, something I found on Google Images, but I absolutely love it because it says, be brave, pretend to be, you know, even if you're not.
I like that, though. That's great.
That's so much of what I've done, you know, trying to get out in the public, trying to talk to people that are super educated, that are, you know, have much more going on than I feel like I have. And I never turn down an opportunity, even if I don't sleep 2 nights, you know, before it.
Well, I was thinking, you know, back to the Rotary presentation. You know, knowing what I know about you now that I didn't know on that day, and you know, I left an event that was very different to make sure I met you, because I wanted to hear your story, and I'd heard about it through other means, and I was blown away at your ability to articulate that. So you found something within yourself to, I mean, I know that you may not feel like you're confident, but you were very confident that day, and that was remarkable to me because that was a sensitive thing and the depth that you went into in that presentation. So I love this picture. You're roughly around 40 years old at this point?
Yeah, that was on a mission trip to Africa.
Now, what would possess you to go on a mission trip to Africa? And I'm curious. I mean, I mean, just the mental. What's the decision to do that?
First of all, it was something that was offered at my church, and I really felt like I was supposed to do it.
That's great.
I'd never done anything like that. I'd never, you know, certainly had never been to Africa.
Sure.
And but it was such a mind-opening kind of thing. I mean, to see the sights in Africa, and it was like going back in National Geographic, and it was beautiful. It was rough. It was horrible. It was everything.
And you probably saw living conditions that we aren't really familiar with in this country.
We walk into one building and a woman had just had a baby, just delivered the baby.
By herself?
Yeah, well, there was another woman there.
But
yeah, on the floor, right? And within 30 minutes, she walked up and left with the baby.
It's amazing.
And I mean, I thought, man, we're weak, you know? We're weak.
What a difference.
For sure.
Now, what is this talking about here?
That talks about, at some point in my own journey, and when I used to speak, I never spoke anything of myself. You know, I was so scared of my story still.
Sure.
But I've gotten less scared of it, I guess. And there was a point where, you know, I felt like, okay, you know, I had to deal with all these horrible things early on. It's okay to have gone through these things. I don't have to hide the fact that they happened. You know? And I can just be, it kind of, gosh, I don't know.
Well, it says our day has come. There's a key, and it says no longer do we stand as victims, but choose to stand victorious. We decided to take the land that was taken from us and to pay it forward for the next generation, to not be victims. We have lost too much, but choose this day to believe that we can and will change the world. I think that's beautiful. I love that.
Definitely.
Now, this was an event that was held in April of this year in Louisville. And basically it was a summit on human trafficking.
Yes.
How did that go, and how was it received in the community?
It went really well. It went really well. We had a lot of interesting parts to it, and I love that when you can just add somebody besides myself speaking, because I get tired of hearing myself.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to share the load, since, you know, being the center of attention, you talked about that you don't like.
Right.
Now, this was an event, I think.
Those are Free to Hope bags, freedom bags, and we do them for victims, and they go all over the state.
That's great. And here's several individuals, looks like volunteers that
definitely.
helped out.
That was with TJ Maxx had actually sponsored 200 bags last year.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And this looks like an advertisement or whatever.
Yeah, it was an advertisement. That actually was probably previously, but
I got you.
good.
Okay. Now, this is the logo for Free to Hope.
Definitely.
Were you instrumental in designing it? And can you maybe explain to the audience your rationale behind it? I think it's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, actually, I had drawn out many different things of what I thought it would look like, and a man introduced me to someone that did graphic work, and he agreed to do it for me, to do the work for me.
That's awesome.
It meant so much because it has two words in it, free and hope, you know, and my whole idea is you cannot have freedom unless you have hope for freedom.
That's a good point.
You know, I mean, they're really instrumental together to have.
Now, explain what this picture's about
That
for the
is
person that wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's the first child that was found and put in a safe place because of my work.
That's unbelievable. And this is, what's going on here?
Okay,
the girl's packing, but not today. Not today, folks.
No,
we'll get through the interview, I promise.
That was, I did a FBI citizens course.
Okay.
And, but it's really significant in another way as well. It's kind of, when my business started, you know, doing really well, when I started doing really well in it, you know, when I was having some success, and it just kind of, to me, was empowering.
That's great.
You know?
Yeah.
I love that picture.
I like it. I got it, and I was like, whoa, that's a little different.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about the NRA. What's going on here? Yeah. Now, here you are with Andy Beshear, the Kentucky's Attorney General. And what is going on in this picture? It looks like there's a signing or something.
Yeah, we were actually at a outdoor rally of some kind.
Okay. And here you are, looks like, I don't believe that's the same day.
No, it's not the same day. And that's where I had become a part of the Survivors Council.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And here you are with the First Lady of the Commonwealth, Glenna.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
That's great.
She had presented that award from KSAP.
That's great. And here you are with a group. You might want to talk about them.
That's Summer, and that's her house.
Uh-huh.
And I absolutely love that picture. That's one of my favorite pictures.
It is.
Really.
I'm glad you shared it. And then this was some big news that you've got to share with everybody. This is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So why don't you talk about what these pictures represent, because the print's fairly small.
Yeah, it probably is.
But we'll overlay it on the screen.
We are opening up a drop-in center.
That's great.
December 27. It's going to be a place, first and foremost, where women that are involved in prostitution and or trafficking, or whoever manages to make their way in, you know, can find community. And to me, that's really the way you can get to people, to hopefully facilitate them getting out of whatever life they've gotten stuck into.